Oxidation and color fade represent the long-term convergence of chemical degradation and optical failure in automotive coatings. Unlike sudden defects, these failures progress slowly and uniformly, often becoming noticeable only when compared against protected or less exposed areas. By the time customers recognize fading, the underlying chemical damage is already extensive. Oxidation begins when oxygen interacts with polymer chains in the coating under the influence of heat and ultraviolet radiation. UV energy generates free radicals within the clear coat and base coat, which then react with oxygen to form oxidized polymer fragments. These reactions alter molecular structure, increasing brittleness and surface polarity, while reducing cohesive strength. The earliest impact is optical rather than mechanical. Oxidation increases microscopic surface roughness, scattering incident light and reducing perceived gloss. Even before measurable color change occurs, the surface loses depth and clarity, particularly noticeable on dark or high chroma colors. Color fade primarily involves pigment degradation. Organic pigments are especially vulnerable to UV-induced chemical breakdown. As chromophore structures are damaged, their ability to absorb and reflect specific wavelengths diminishes, leading to loss of color intensity. Reds, blues, and yellows fade faster than blacks or inorganic whites due to inherent pigment stability differences. In metallic and pearlescent systems, color fade is compounded by changes in light interaction. As the clear coat oxidizes and becomes less transparent, metallic flake orientation appears muted. This reduces flop and sparkle, creating a flat, washed-out appearance even if the pigment itself has not fully degraded. Clear coat integrity is critical in controlling fade rate. A healthy clear coat acts as a UV filter and oxygen barrier, delaying pigment exposure. As oxidation thins and microcracks the clear coat surface, UV penetration increases, accelerating base coat degradation. Once this feedback loop begins, fading progresses rapidly. Crosslink density again defines behavior. Highly cross-linked systems resist early oxidation, but degrade abruptly once stabilizers are consumed. More flexible systems degrade gradually, but may show earlier gloss and color loss. OEMs tune these systems to balance visual aging with mechanical durability over the vehicle's expected life. Additives play a central role in delaying oxidation and fade. UV absorbers intercept high-energy radiation, while hindered amine light stabilizers neutralize free radicals. Their effectiveness depends on long-term retention within the coating. Migration to the surface, leaching during washing, and chemical consumption gradually reduce protection, making fade inevitable over extended exposure. Environmental conditions dramatically influence fade severity. High solar intensity, elevated temperatures, and high altitude increase UV dose. Pollutants such as ozone and nitrogen oxides catalyze oxidation reactions. Frequent wet, dry cycling removes degraded polymer fragments, exposing fresh material to further attack. OEM weathering validation uses accelerated testing to predict long-term behavior. Xenon arc exposure simulates solar radiation, while thermal cycling and humidity accelerate oxidation processes. Color change is quantified using delta measurements, correlating visual perception with chemical degradation. However, correlation to real-world exposure remains complex and region-specific. From a diagnostic perspective, oxidation and fade present as uniform color loss on exposed panels, stronger color retention under badges or trims, reduced gloss, and chalky residues during washing. Polishing may temporarily restore appearance by removing the oxidized surface layer, but this also thins the clear coat and shortens remaining service life. Corrective strategies focus on durability optimization rather than elimination. Selecting light-stable pigments, optimizing stabilizer packages, ensuring full clear coat cure, and maintaining sufficient film thickness all extend color life. Customer maintenance practices, such as regular washing and protective coatings, reduce contaminant-driven acceleration but cannot stop oxidation entirely. Oxidation and color fade remind us that automotive coatings are time-dependent systems. Their success is measured not by permanent color retention, but by controlled, Predictable aging that remains visually acceptable throughout the vehicle's design life. When fade occurs late and uniformly, it reflects well-engineered durability rather than failure. If you've observed uneven fading, loss of color depth, or chalking on exposed panels, share your observations in the comments. In the next episode, we'll conclude the weathering family by examining clear coat erosion and long-term film thinning, where cumulative environmental loss reaches the end of coating life.